I made this terrible mistake that almost cost me my film. Almost. I wouldn't really undermine this or sell this short. It actually did ruin my film. I mean, in my opinion. Okay, so this is just a very simple story that actually happened. We were shooting this music video. You know that I've been shooting with my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera 4K for a very long time, but I decided to switch things up. So I just recently got myself the 6K Pro, and I wanted to try to shoot this film, not necessarily in 6K, but to actually have a feel of how it works and how I can, operate it to the best of my abilities, as well as shoot in 4K even though it's a 6K Pro and still get the best results that they sell the camera for. So I decided to do this, and we went on set. You've actually seen it behind the scenes already. If you've checked it out, you'll definitely see me using the 6K Pro, which I use for the entirety of the shoot. So you know that when you switch things up, especially when it comes to gear, and let's say it's an upgrade, for instance, using the 4K to a 6K, definitely there's going to be a lot of differences and some upgrades. Not just the resolution, but also some features that I deemed very, very important. When we got to the set, it was blazing hot, so that's why I actually used the ND filters that are actually built in the camera. Normally, I will use the ND filter on my lens, which I bought not long ago. I've made a video on filters too, so if you haven't seen it, please kindly check it out. So using the 6K Pro with the inbuilt ND filters, because the sun was blazing hot, I decided to switch things up. And I actually had to use all the ND filters in the camera. And in front of the camera was also my 8-35mm 1.8 lens, which also has the ND filter in front of it. I never take that off, including the Black Promise filter. So all these together with a UV filter in front of the lens. And because that was actually the first time I was using the 6K Pro to shoot a film, I forgot about the ND filters. When the sun came there, exactly when it began to rain. So I was finding myself in a difficulty and using the 4K for a long time. From a 6D user, I've been using a lot of EF mount lenses. And to be able to use the EF mount lenses on the 4K, I need a speed booster. So it gives me a lot of width as compared to the 6K Pro, which takes the EF mount lenses directly to the camera. That's what I thought was the only thing I was missing out on the 4K, all right? And it didn't occur to me because I would use the ND filter on the lens to regulate the exposure if I don't want to touch the settings of the camera. But little did I know that I still had all the 3 inbuilt ND filters active in front of my image sensor on the 6K Pro. And I was shooting, it was raining and the sun was down and I wasn't getting a lot of light. So because I had forgotten all about that inbuilt ND filter, I had to bump up my ISO. And you know that when you increase your ISO, you are risking a lot of noise in your video, and that's what actually happened. So when it occurred to me that it was the ND filters that was actually inhibiting the light intake into my camera, I was long gone into the film and I'd shot a lot of scenes. I couldn't go back, but I would say it was actually a learning curve because it's normal. I mean, it happens to all of us. No matter who you are, no matter how long you've been using your cameras, and even if it's in the same lineup, when it's an upgrade over what you normally use, you're definitely going to go through an ordeal. Definitely, you might find a lot of problems. That's why it's best to always practice with the camera. And it wasn't like I didn't know about the inbuilt ND filters. That was one of the major reasons why I took it along. But because I didn't use the cine lenses that I wanted to use throughout the shoot, and I used my 18-35mm Sigma art lens, because I had my filters, the UV, the ND, and the Black Promise filter in front of the lens, and I'd never take them off, I forgot all about it. And that's what actually happened. So I raised a lot of noise in my video, but it's something that I can redeem. Yeah, it's redeemable, just that I'll still have some noise in there. And that's actually a learning curve. So I decided to share this with you because I know that you definitely encounter that. Even if you haven't already, you're definitely going to encounter that one day in your life. That when you're using an upgrade over the normal equipment that you normally take along with you, you're going to find yourself in a couple of problems that you might have to find solutions real quick. And if you forget about one particular instance, something that you actually know of but you just forgot because it's not something that you normally acquaint yourself with, I pray that doesn't happen to you. But if it's something that you can redeem during post-production, then you're better off just like I was. Even though I wasn't exactly lucky, I'll count myself lucky. So yeah, that's basically that. I have the shoot I have to go to, but I needed to slip this through, and I'm gonna catch you later. All right, have a wonderful day. See ya.